I'm going to go through a floor routine, starting off with a cat camel. You want to establish your quadruped position, so you want to be on your all fours. First one we're going to do is we're going to suck in the belly, round the back. Take a big deep breath. Then we're going to exhale, stretch out the neck, flex the back, and inhale. And exhale. And inhale. And exhale. You're going to go through your movements for about 30 seconds or approximately 12 reps if you can for each movement. I'm going to take you into bird dogs. We're going to build the bird dog up. I want to make sure that those arms are right under the shoulders. Fingers are pointing forwards. Your legs are at hip width under your core. You want to make sure you're engaging your core, your back is nice and flat. First one is we're just going to lift one leg up. We're just going to establish that balance on one knee. If you feel more comfortable in this position, you can then raise one arm up. That's the opposite arm to the leg that's raised. Make sure that your head stays nice and neutral through the spine. Those of you that want to advance the move can take it into a knee elbow extension. Let's go back to this other side, starting off with the first leg. Then those of you that feel comfortable bringing up another arm. This could just be a movement like this. Those of you that are more advanced, bring it all the way into the elbow and stretch it all the way out. The most common bird dog move is just the alternating pattern. Just hold that stretch through each movement. Those of you that can't hold the alternating pattern, just bringing one leg up at a time. Just keeping everything nice and comfortable. We're going to take this into a side leg raise, so lying on your side, positioning your head on top of your elbow. You want to try and make sure that your legs are in parallel situation. You're going to flex your foot. In other words, you're going to bring your toes up towards your knees. You're going to make sure that your hip is upright. If you need to place your hand here for support, you're going to just lift that leg up. Try and bring it up all the way nice and tall. You don't want that hip to drift backwards, otherwise it becomes a hip flexor movement, which is an alternate movement. At the moment we would like to just keep it as a lateral movement, working into that glute med. Once again, you're going to do these movements on both sides, so you'd switch yourself around after 30 seconds, set yourself up, maintain your correct upright position, foot is flexed, raising that leg up in line with your hip. I'll turn this into a clamshell, starting on the same side. You want to bring those legs into a 90-degree position. You want to keep your feet together. Same again, you want the hip upright. All you're going to do is you're going to bring that knee up, squeeze it up as far as you can, and close it back down. Squeeze it up, make sure the feet aren't parting, and squeeze it down. Just check that your hip isn't rolling backwards. Same, you'll swap it over. You'll do 30 seconds on each side, or maybe 12 counts. Same again, check the hip is upright, squeezing that leg all the way up. Try not to let the hip roll backwards. I like to place my hand on my hip just to check that I'm not getting that roll open and backwards. This can be done on your back, as in a feet together, just a gentle squeezing of those legs. In a butterfly position, just opening them, squeezing those legs all the way down. Once again, creating that flexion through the hips. We're going to take this into a hip hinge. So the legs are going to stay together, suck the core in. We're going to bring those legs all the way up. Try and get as much height into the hips as possible. And then we're going to lower them back down. Suck in the core, roll the hips up. Maintain as much height as possible. Some of you might want to do it with a toe up. So heel on the floor, toe up. Some of you may want to do it as a single leg. So then you bring the one leg up off the ground and you'd hinge it up. Point the toe if you want, or keep the foot flexed. You're looking for that hip hinge. Same, swap the legs if you're doing the opposite. Leg in the air and hinge it up. I'm going to go into a pushback. I'm going to start in a child's pose position, so the hands are going to be forward, you're going to be bent down. All you're going to do is you're going to bring yourself forward. If you can, you're going to go into a push down and then a push back. Back into that hinge position. So we're looking once again at hinging through the scapula, and we're also hinging through the hips. Those of you that can't go down in the front, all you want to do is just a hinge. Hinge forward and just hinge back. Hinge forward and hinge back. And then the final move we're going to do is a hip crossover. We're going to go back on our backs. We're going to bring the legs up into a 90-degree position. The arms are going to be placed out to the side. You don't want your shoulders rolling off the ground. You want to keep your shoulders on the ground. You're going to let those hips roll over to a point where you can feel in control. You want those obliques to work. You don't want to be twisting your spine. We're going to roll gently left and right. Maintaining that shoulder position on the ground. Some of you may feel a little bit stronger. You might want to go into an elevated leg position, just rolling those legs left and right. And that is a simple floor routine that you can do on a daily basis.